Welcome back to the Boomerang podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Drew.
And today we have some very special guests. Our good friend El Capitan, Bill Jackson. How are you, Bill?
Very well. How are you guys?
Good. And we got also doctor and pastor Ken Hovind. He's got a reputation that precedes him. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world today, get their viewpoints, and just going to have a meeting of the minds. What's going on, guys?
Well, we ended up finding Pastor Hovind's videos on TikTok and Facebook Reels. And he was just preaching creation,
there it is.
And he put it in a very simple, very straightforward manner that, I guess because he was a high school teacher for so many years, that even kids can understand. And the man goes up on stages against Harvard professors and makes them sit down back in their chairs. And, he embarrasses them. So he's got definitely a reputation that precedes him. Apparently, even the government took notice, and IRS, they Martha Stewarted him. And, the man's been, I guess you could say, vilified just for his beliefs and this fact that he didn't want to teach evolution in a school system with taxpayer dollars. When it's basically, and he can very easily prove, just as much a religion as religion is, except he admits it, So, and then of course we wanted to cover, the Reawaken tour and what happened in Miami, because my wife and my kids and our little MAGA rat here, we all attended, Honey the MAGA rat, and had an amazing time. And, not only was it political, it was more of a spiritual revival than anything, that Reawaken tour and the speakers that were in that Reawaken tour are just amazing people. Everything from doctors with the clot shot and so forth and so on. I know we got to watch because we're on,
the boob
so
tube. Fluff tube.
Anywhere, from Kash Patel and his information. We had Trump's lawyers. We got Elena Haba and Christina Hobb. They were speakers at the event, keeping us up with what Trump's being railroaded by. And then people like, Jimmy Levy, who is an amazing American Idol winner who's gone spiritual and political all in the same instance. And Bo Pony and, an amazing prophet speaking about stuff that's literally happening this year, 2023 and 2024, and how it correlates to the Bible.
Yeah.
An amazing time. And, of course, our guest here, and my host at his amazing place here at Dr. Dinosaur Adventureland up here in, where in Alabama are we?
Lenox, Alabama.
Small
Count about
town.
31 people.
Can you give us some background? So you, Dr. Hovind, you were getting arrested before it became cool by the government. That's pretty amazing. We're starting to see a lot of people going through what you probably went through.
Oh, brother. I was raised in Illinois by a family of engineers and teachers, and I love science. And I've been ordained Baptist pastor 49 years. I taught high school science and math 15 years. And I moved to Pensacola and started a ministry teaching on science in the Bible. Doing 336 debates against atheists at universities and online. I'll take on any more. The Bible says God made everything in 6 days. Well, that would mean dinosaurs had to live with Adam and Eve. So our ministry here, Dinosaur Adventureland, somebody gave us 140 acres in Lenox, Alabama. It is a blast. Come on, it's all free. We have 25 cabins you can stay in. And
Would love to.
But, I teach a lot on the topic of how the importance of creation. I do a seminar series, 18 hours on DVD for $50 if you want it, on drdino.com. My DVD number 5, I was sitting at home working, getting ready for travel to go preach someplace, and the IRS came with a SWAT team and arrested me. This is back in 2006. I said, what am I being arrested for? They said, for structuring. I said, I don't know what that is. And they said to the SWAT team, go get every DVD number 5 you can find, The Dangers of Evolution. The evolution theory is not only stupid, it's dangerous. We teach the kids they're an animal and then wonder why they act like animals. The founders of this country, the founders of this country said, we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal. They're endowed by their creator with certain rights: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. I ask atheists all the time, where do rights come from? I said, is it right to go next door and kill your neighbor's baby and eat it? Oh, no. Well, the zebra does it to, or the lion does it to the zebra all the time.
Right.
Is that different?
Right.
If we're just an animal, what's the difference?
When
Go ahead.
When I think of atheists, I think of guys like Sam Harris, right? Guys that go out there.
I'll take him on any day. Call him up. Say, Ken Hovind will debate you anytime.
What type of argument? Where do their arguments fall short? Because this is not my my expertise in terms of areas. What do the atheists really like to push to try to prove their point of view?
Well, in the biggest thing, they have these family trees with everything going back to a common ancestor. It's nothing but artwork and lines on paper. Right. There are now 339 breeds of dogs that people have produced, from the Chihuahua to the Great Dane. Okay, and they're still a dog. I say, guys, they're a dog, but you believe dogs are related to mosquitoes. See, in their theory, their evolution religion, and I call it a religion because you have to believe in it. There's no science behind it. They teach everything evolved from a common ancestor. I say, guys, this isn't science. We never see a dog produce a non-dog or a cow produce a non-cow. Right. It isn't ever observed. Much bigger picture here. I'm going to let you have the program. But back in the Garden of Eden, I believe the Bible is true. Satan came to Eve and tricked her, and she fell and threw the whole world into chaos. And the Lord said to Satan back in Genesis chapter 3, that someday some seed of the woman is going to bruise your head. And ever since that day, he's been trying to kill every human being alive. That's why some of these rich guys will finance both sides of a war. They don't care who wins, just kill people, lower the population. The goal of the New World Order idiots, the pinky and the brain guys, is to reduce the population to 500 million.
Yep, exactly. I've heard that.
But after Satan has used them to do that, then he's going to eliminate them also.
Right.
But all these guys with their plans for a one world government, New World Order, reduce the population by whatever means possible, whether that be by crazy medical practices, or by just simply wars or diseases, or spraying aluminum oxide in the sky and letting it come down and land their weapons. They can hit a laser at Maui for 500 miles away and set it on fire. The goal in any sport, the offense has a goal. Like in basketball, they want to get to that rim and put the ball through it. And I'm on defense. My job is to stay in front of them and to stop them from accomplishing their goal. Now, they may dodge right, dodge left, fake up and down, but their goal doesn't change. They want to get to that basket. Satan's goal is to reduce the population and kill humans because he knows someday some seed of the woman's going to bruise his head.
Right.
So he's determined to try to kill everybody on the planet. And that's really the big, big picture of everything. So they came and arrested me for structuring. I said, I don't know what that is. We had a sham trial. The U.S. attorney had spent 5 years trying to find something on me. Finally, they arrested me for structuring, for taking our own money out of the bank in amounts less than $10,000. It's against the law.
Let me ask you, Dr. Hovind, do you think that there's a satanic element that has infiltrated our government?
Oh, most of it is satanic. Yeah. I love my country, but I fear my government. They are mostly, it's in crazy, the satanic influence there. So one guy, a paralegal, did research on my case for 18 months, and he finally did a whole YouTube channel just on me, KentHovind.net, our website. He shows the government broke 100 laws to put you in prison, Kent. U.S. attorney put me in prison. Then he flew to Detroit a few weeks later to have sex with a 5-year-old, got arrested getting off the plane with Vaseline and a doll, and they put him in jail and he hung himself. To Google John David Roy Atchison, Pensacola, Florida. That's the U.S. attorney that arrested me for taking our own money out of our own bank to pay bills, ministry bill. There was no crime ever.
And under 10,000. Essentially, that's what everybody with a bank account does for the most part when they take money out.
See, Congress, in their great wisdom, passed a law that said if you take out more than 10,000, the bank has to fill out a form.
Right.
Because they're looking
part
for
of the Patriot Act.
Okay, so the drug dealers said, hey, let's go in the morning and take out 9,500. We'll go in the afternoon and take out 9,500.
Right.
So Congress, in their infinite wisdom, passed another law that said if you have 2 transactions in one day, they're each under 10, but they total over 10. You have now structured your transactions to evade this reporting requirement. I never did that. Once every 2 weeks, we would go down and get out a couple $1,000s to pay all the bills around the ministry. One time, every 2 weeks.
Right.
They took everything we'd done for 2 years and added it all together to get it over 10,000 and charged me with structuring. There was no crime. It was just simply to shut me up because of what I cover on DVD number 5. See, this evolution theory is the foundation behind communism, Nazism, socialism, Marxism. Why did Hitler do what he did? Hitler believed in evolution very strongly, and he thought, I'm going to speed up the process. See, if in evolution, if it's true, one animal evolves a little better than the rest. He gets a new improved mutation, which we've never seen, by the way. He said, well, then all the rest of them have to die, or this new improved gene gets blended back into the population.
Right.
He said, well, obviously the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Norwegians and Germans are the superior race. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Norwegian, Boris, Dog. He said, let's kill off everybody who's not those. And so he went around and he hated black people. When Jesse Owens, the black American athlete, won the most gold medals, he refused to shake his hand. So did our President Roosevelt, by the way.
Right.
The racism's roots go back to this evolution theory that man is evolving from an ape or something like that. I ask atheists all the time, how do you tell right from wrong? Where's your standard? Do you have a rule?
Right.
How do you measure right from wrong?
Right.
If we determine right and wrong based upon majority opinion, well, I tell you what, go to Iraq and ask all the majority over there, you believe Islam is true and you should kill anybody who won't convert. Well, yeah, they all agree. Does that mean it's true?
Right.
Go to Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany, 1942, 55 million Germans all believe Hitler's a great guy and we're going to win this war and we're going to kill off everybody non-Aryan. The majority thought it was good. Go to the Congress today, we've got, ask the majority, are you evolved from an ape? Oh, yeah. Well, then where's your standard for judging right and wrong? Right. The founders of this country had it right. We're endowed by the Creator with rights. And our government started off based upon the Bible. What does it teach? God gave 10 commandments. We can use those as a guide to decide right from wrong. Why would it be wrong to murder your neighbor? The lion does it to the zebra every day. He doesn't go to jail for it.
So how do you put God back into schools? I mean, should kids be reading the Bible, when they're of a certain age? I mean, what's your thought on that?
Well, the bigger question is, should we even have public schools? Okay. Right. If we're going to have public school, then who should run them? It should be the local people. That's their kids. The federal government should have nothing to do with our school system. Nothing. Okay?
Agreed.
State government, I don't think so either. Counties, maybe, where the people can have control. But if you're going to teach anything about science, and I taught science 15 years, biology, I taught math and science, I taught physical science, earth science, then you should teach science. Origins, like coming from a monkey, that's not part of science.
Right.
It's a religious belief. So you can learn all about the body, the muscles, the humerus, the deltoid, the patella, and everything without studying evolution. It's got nothing to do with it. So if we're going to have public schools, then you should have the parents run it, and they should only teach what is scientifically accurate. My video number 4 of my series is called Lies in the Textbooks. This one fires them up bad. There are 35 or 40 basic lies they teach in every textbook because they are the support for evolution theory.
Right.
Back in 1859, Darwin wrote his book and made up this stupid theory. 10 years later, there still was no evidence for it. So a guy named Ernst Haeckel made up a chart showing all the babies of different animals having gill slits. You've got the shark and the dog and the cow and the human. Dude, look at these embryos all look alike, boys and girls. That's proof of evolution. 10 years later, 1874, some other embryologist at his university said, these drawings are fake. You're lying. This is not what they look like. His whole chart was proven wrong in 1874. This embryology proves evolution. Well, they had a trial at his own university in Jena, Germany, and he was found guilty of lying and forging the drawings. Those same drawings that he made in 1869, proven wrong in 1874, are still in textbooks today. Get your biology book, type in embryology, evidence for evolution. They're still using this as evidence when it's not. So right. I'm not saying we should put God into the schools. We should just simply get the lies out, and then there's nothing left to support their stupid theory.
Wow.
I was debating a professor one time, and I mentioned about 15 or 20 of the lies in the textbooks. And like they said, the tailbone is vestigial. You don't need it anymore. I said, guys, there are 9 muscles attached to the tailbone, and they're very essential for quite a few things. And I named what they were. I said, if you think the tailbone is no longer necessary, I will pay to have yours removed. Bend over. I got a Swiss Army knife. I'll do it myself. Okay?
I mean, talk about information warfare, right? I mean, information warfare has been going on for centuries, it sounds like.
Exactly right. Well, this professor, after I named all the lies in the textbooks, he said, now, folks, Mr. Hovind is right. These things are not correct. But he said, I got a question for you. They never call me doctor, even though I got 4 doctor's degrees. He said, Mr. Hovind is right. Mr. Hovind, if you took all these lies out of the textbooks, what would you replace them with? I said, folks, what he's trying to avoid saying is, this is all we've got for evidence for our theory. If you take that out, what are we going to teach the kids? We don't have any evidence.
Right,
I said,
right,
well, then get a new theory.
right,
It's not my
right.
job to find evidence for your stupid theory. You're the one who believes you came from a rock.
Yeah, I've actually been one of those people that's actually said that I think all of us are going to be relearning history here when everything's said and done. Just over to you, Bill.
History
It's
for the
amazing.
last 3 years.
Yeah,
I mean, relearning world history, ancient history, U.S. history. I've relearned all, and all because we've been lied to.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's
it was
all
done
lies.
on purpose. It's all purpose. It's all purpose.
Well, keep in mind, what's the goal? The goal is a one world government with Satan in charge,
right.
because he wants to reduce the population to 0.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole lot of crazy medical practices doing exactly that. One friend of mine said doctors don't want cures, they want customers.
Yep, exactly.
They gotta
Well, I mean, they put their plans on the Georgia Guidestones, right? The Georgia Guidestones were pretty obvious. I mean, I think Ted Turner, right? He was involved in the building of those things, right? So you can see that this permeates into some of the elite, so-called elite class.
Well, it says right there, on the Georgia Guidestones, it said, maintain humanity under 1/2 billion.
Right.
Well, there's 8 billion people in the world today. How are you going to maintain it at 500 million?
Right.
Looks like 7.5 billion people have to die, don't
Got to
they?
go.
Google the
Sick.
communist rules for revolution.
Right.
Karl Marx made up all this stuff years and years ago. In order to take over the world, take over with communism, there's certain things you got to do. They got rules. Get control of all the education. Boy, they done that. You know,
Check.
you do Google. I cover that. See, that's why I went to jail. When they arrested me, my attorney said, "Kent, don't even give a defense. You did not commit any crime." The judge then, after trial, said to the jury, "I want you to find him guilty." Objection. Overruled. Take it up with the next court. So then at sentencing, the judge said, "Now, Mr. Hovind, you've never been in trouble with the law. This is your first time here. Structuring carries a sentence of 0 to 6 months." But she said, this woman judge, she said, "Your crime is worse than rape. I'm enhancing this to 10 years. Gave me a 10-year sentence for taking our own money out of our own bank. Then they put me in prison. They moved me 32 times, called diesel therapy.
Heard about that.
While I was in prison, I wrote 37 books, earned 2 more doctor's degrees, led Bible study 4 times a day in my room. Hey, half the Bible's written from prison. So I used it wisely, you know.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. They have the power right now.
Worse than rape, though. Just bring in any rape victim and have them say that to your face. Like, that's crazy. What a
I did
weird
hear
comparison.
that. I did hear that in the late 1800s, they removed overnight a piece of the Constitution without any acts of Congress. It was just removed.
Yeah.
That if you knowingly falsely imprison somebody, it actually carries the punishment of death. So hopefully, in the coming years, you'll have some recourse against these people, some serious recourse.
Well, there's still things in the CFRs. You got Title 18, Section 241 and 242, which is deprivation of rights under the color of law, and then conspiracy to deprive rights. So if two or more people did it, then it's conspiracy. And it is a felony. It is punishable. I think $10,000 fine, something like that. But yeah, the CFRs are still on the books. But that fact is, just like Trump's proving, we have corrupt judges, we have corrupt attorney generals, we have a corrupt justice system. And obviously Kent was a victim of it.
Yeah,
we can all see it plain.
We're seeing it now, but Dr. Hovind over here was living and breathing it before, right, way before Trump. That's crazy.
Well,
Hey,
I love actually reading his wiki because it's interesting. The things that they use as a derogatory because he believes in conspiracy theories. His creational presentation asserts that creationism is taught in public schools due to the New World Order conspiracy established by Satan and involving Ted Turner and Jane Fonda, the British royal family, the State of Israel, and the American Civil Liberties Union. This man is not a pastor. He's a prophet. Because when was this? And it is all coming true. These are not conspiracies or theories. These are actual conspiracies.
Well, while I was in prison for 9 years, I did extensive research on what the Bible says about how the world's going to end. End times. What's going to happen? And I made a chart and a book and a video series. What on earth is about to happen? The Bible teaches there's going to be a 7-year period called the time of tribulation, which is the yellow period here. This is all expanded from the little bit of yellow chart at the bottom. You can buy my charts for $10 on drdino.com. There's going to be a 7-year period of great tribulation. And it tells what's going to happen in Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21. And it tells all about it. And when I was writing my book, I was publishing it a piece at a time. I'd send it to my home office, and they would put it up on their website. Somebody wrote to me and said, Kent, when's this going to happen? I said, well, I don't know. I'm not going to set a date. But if I had to guess, I would guess 2028. And here's why. I give my 8 reasons why I think 2028 is when it's all going to hit the fan and fall apart.
Give us some of those reasons. I'd be curious just to hear from you right now.
Well, it would take a long time. If you get my video series, I'll send you one for free. My
We'll buy
series, What on Earth is About to Happen, is 21 hours where I go through all the details. This is what the Bible says. It says it's going to start off with Israel being back in their land and somebody making a treaty to rebuild their temple. You watch. They're going to rebuild the Jewish temple. That's the thing to watch for. And in the middle of that 7 years, which would be 3.5, they're going to break the treaty, and Antichrist is going to set up an image in the temple and make it come to life. Possibly like the AI, artificial intelligence. I don't know. We'll see. So it's all happening. And it says in Zephaniah chapter 2, Gaza will be flat and desolate, a place to raise sheep. 2.5 million people in Gaza right now. How could Zephaniah, 600 years before Christ, say someday Gaza is going to be flattened and wiped out and a place to raise sheep? Check it out, Zephaniah, near the end of the Old Testament. So I've been reading the Bible now for 55 years. It's all coming to a head this decade. It's going to be really bad. I would suggest, A, make sure you're going to heaven. Make sure you've accepted the Lord's forgiveness and get saved. And then study that book and find out what's important to life. It is not important who wins the Super Bowl. It's important. That's way at the bottom of my list. Okay? What's important? There is a great conspiracy. I agree. Should we spend our time fighting that? Certainly sometime. But much bigger than that is,
right.
See, God said, if my people, 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, I'll hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. The problem with America is the Christians aren't doing their job. That's the problem.
They've been sort of passive.
The salt of the earth. Well,
the Christians have sort of been pacified.
Yeah, we're supposed to irritate. If you're not irritating somebody, you're not doing it right.
Right. I mean, I remember when they were calling around for a Christian bakery to bake not to bake a cake for a gay couple, and they would just call, Obama's administration would just call around bakeries just to find one Christian bakery that maybe had an issue with it. And they were just creating this anti-Christian hatred, and you can see that that's really ramped up, especially in the left wing of politics, and it's scary. I mean, I'm just new to Christianity, and it was really initially for me, it started as I had to pick a side, and I just didn't want to be on the side of these freaks, right? Because that's what they are. They're freaks at the end of the day.
Well, our YouTube channel, Genesis Baptist Church, you can watch hundreds of my videos right on there, and we do one every night. Genesis Baptist Church, we have a lot of guests on. I believe the Bible is true. Evolution is stupid. And there are some people out there with absolute morons that the only thing they can do is run for government. See,
yeah.
Poly means many. Okay, poly means many. A tick is a blood-sucking animal. And you put them together and you got politics. That's what we got.
I've heard that, yeah.
And then if you're following, what we've been talking about and what, we've discussed, we haven't had a legitimate election since the, Congress was adjourned because of the Civil War.
Yeah.
It was never legally reconvened. It was convened with appointees from the Abraham Lincoln administration, and that's how they were able to enact the Treaty of 1871 and create DC, this corporate fiction we've been living under ever since. But people are waking up to it, and that's what has to happen. People have literally had the wool over their eyes intentionally by the Satanists to cover up the truth, to keep the apocalypse, the great awakening, from occurring. But that's why, Operation Looking Glass, I do believe, was abandoned because these Satanists kept on seeing the same thing over and over and over again. the Great Awakening kept occurring, and there was nothing they could do to stop it.
Right. Right. And Bill, just while I have you, you've been going to the Great Awakening tour with who's it? Clay Clark running
Clay
those?
Clark Awakening tour, yes, sir.
How's that been? Tell us.
Ben is one of the host speakers. Of course, Eric Trump, Laura Trump, they spoke, and then of course Trump's lawyers, they ended up coming on. Bo Pony, and you're talking about a person that is a pastor but is called by God, and he's got some amazing prophecies. So if you can catch some interviews with Bo Pony,
I watch Bo.
Bolny.
I catch his interviews with Nino on Nino's Corner.
That's what that was the one I just watched, was the one with Nino.
Yeah.
An amazing interview.
He's interesting because he actually, we're obviously Midas Gold Group, right? We're gold brokers over here, silver, right? And he brings out the Bible and, picks the dates and here's what's going to happen. And this is where gold and silver fit in. It's really interesting stuff. I mean, and he's been right about a lot of stuff. I mean, it's hard to be perfect on dates, as you know. It's very tough to predict, but Bo's been close.
He's been really close, on point, and called by God. And so is this man. And I think that's why I was drawn. I started just looking him up, and I found out he had this place that, he's invited me up here. Come on over. So
That's
I think
awesome.
this whole thing is done on purpose. And it's the man upstairs that's doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah, he just impresses me as just like a nice, genuine guy. Like I could see him being exactly the same in real life as he is on some of these interviews I see him in.
He is.
Well,
Bo was an amazing guy.
Come visit our Dinosaur Adventureland. It's a Christian camp. We've got 25 cabins. Everything's free. Come stay. We'll feed you and house you. And after a couple of days, we'll give you a hammer. Put you to work. Over by volunteers and donations. We've had visitors from 74 countries, all 50 states. It's amazing. Only problem we have is we have well water. And I taught biology 15 years. And if you drink well water, your babies will be born naked. So we like to warn people about that. Okay.
It actually sounds like a good place, maybe because we could do another
meetup,
another trip. Go grab 50, 60 different friends and come down to the cabins.
Well, we're straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles. Little bitty town of Lenox, Alabama. Good luck finding that on the map.
Yeah, we just got done
around November 8th. That way we could hit the Hialeah Trump rally right about that time, and of course ignore the debates going on and do our own little thing.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Anything you want to add?
Well, no, guys, thank you so much for coming on. That was fantastic.
One more thing, I gotta throw this out. This is actually a coin that was given to technically my wife, but on behalf of me, because I had to go to a bathroom break, by Bo Pony for being a veteran. And I'd like to actually publicly thank him for that. That was a very, very nice job.
Very nice of him.
It is fine silver.
I could see, looks real to me.
See it from here.
The Bible says real money is silver and gold.
That's right.
Back in the early 1930s, they started changing that to giving us paper money with a note on there, redeemable in silver and gold.
Correct.
Then they took that off. Now we're just getting paper. The next step, you can read the Bible, Revelation chapter 6. There'll be no more money. You have to get a microchip in your right hand or in your forehead. They started with the barcode back in the 1970s. And if you look at the barcode, all those black lines on there, the first two represent a 6, the middle two is a 6, and the last one is a 6.
Right.
Ever since 1970, they've done 666 on that barcode. They're still using it today. And I cover all that in my video number 7 about the mark of the beast. What is the mark of the beast? $50 for the whole thing. You can get my series, watch it, copy it, send it back, get your money back.
Tell people where they can get the series. Is it a website?
DrDino.com, DRDINO. DrDino.com.
Cool. We'll put a link.
And of course, if you need gold and silver, we all know who to go to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love the hat, Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Right on.
So the place where I'm going when it's all over is gold is just blacktop. We're not worried about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Right on.
Cool. Well, we really appreciate you guys coming on. We'll definitely put a link up to promote you guys, and I'd really love to go down there and come check out your place. You said what part of Alabama?
We're just north of the Florida border. Lenox, Alabama.
Lenox, Alabama.
Dinosaur Adventureland. We're
Cool.
all over the map. Atheists absolutely hate us. They write all kinds of nasty things about me.
That makes me.
I'll just tell you, I've met a lot of people in my 71 years. I'm the nicest guy I've ever met. So
good deal.
Right,
well, gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks for having us on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.
We'll do it again, Bill.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
All right.
We'll see you guys soon.
Okay.
Salute.